Hello and welcome back to Understanding Depression, the podcast that explores mental health with empathy, science, and honest conversation. If this is your first time here, we're so glad you joined us. And if you've been following our journey, welcome back. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share if this episode speaks to you or someone you care about. Today's episode is about something rarely discussed but deeply important: depression in Asian communities. This is a topic that's often shrouded in silence, wrapped in layers of culture, history, and unspoken expectations. We'll explore why depression often goes unnoticed or unacknowledged among Asian individuals, what unique cultural challenges contribute to this silence, and how we can begin to foster healing and open conversations. In many Asian cultures, whether South Asian, East Asian, or Southeast Asian, there's a powerful emphasis on family honor, emotional restraint, and achievement. Mental health struggles are often seen not as medical issues, but as personal failings or sources of shame. The idea of saving face, protecting family reputation by not showing emotional vulnerability, is central to many of these cultures. It means you stay strong, stay silent, and suppress anything that might be viewed as weakness. This cultural narrative leads to stigma that runs deep. People may avoid therapy, deny symptoms, or fear being labeled as crazy. Even parents may unintentionally dismiss signs of depression in their children, calling it laziness or a phase, rather than a serious mental health concern. In immigrant families, first-generation parents and second-generation children often have very different understandings of mental health. Children growing up in Western societies may learn about depression in school or through media, but feel they can't bring it up at home. There's a growing identity struggle here. Between cultural heritage and the norms of the society they live in, this disconnect can lead to isolation, misunderstanding, and emotional distance. Imagine a young adult dealing with overwhelming anxiety, trying to explain their experience to a parent who has survived war, poverty, or displacement, and who simply believes, "You just need to work harder." Academic excellence is often seen as a path to upward mobility and respect in Asian families. But behind this drive can be enormous stress. Students may feel trapped between their own emotional well-being and the weight of expectations from family and community. Getting top grades, entering prestigious schools, and landing high-status jobs are not just personal goals. They're often viewed as ways to bring honor to the family. When someone struggles, it's not unusual to hear, "Think about how hard your parents worked for you." But this can shut down emotional honesty. The message becomes, gratitude must outweigh pain. One reason depression is overlooked in Asian communities is that it often manifests differently. Instead of visible sadness or crying, it might appear as physical symptoms: fatigue, headaches, digestive issues, or chronic irritability and withdrawal. This phenomenon is known as somatization, and it's especially common in cultures where direct emotional expression is discouraged. Someone may visit a doctor multiple times for physical pain, but never mention they're emotionally struggling. Unfortunately, this can delay diagnosis and treatment. Even worse, people may start to believe that their pain is not real, or that they're just weak for not getting better. Gender roles also shape how depression is experienced and expressed. In many Asian cultures, men are expected to be stoic providers. Talking about feelings, or worse, admitting to depression, can be seen as emasculating. Women, meanwhile, may face pressure to be nurturing, selfless, and emotionally resilient, especially in family roles. Expressing sadness or burnout can be dismissed as hormonal, dramatic, or selfish. Both men and women may feel they don't have permission to break down, cry, or ask for help, leading to internalized shame and silent suffering. Religion and spirituality are powerful influences in many Asian households. Faith can provide hope, meaning, and a sense of community, but sometimes it can also discourage people from seeking mental health support. Some may be told to pray harder or believe that depression is a spiritual weakness, a punishment, or even karma. This framing can deepen guilt and delay treatment. But religion doesn't have to be a barrier. It can also be a bridge. When communities and leaders acknowledge mental illness as a human experience, it can open doors to healing. For first-generation immigrants or older adults, Language can be a major obstacle. Mental health terms like depression or anxiety may not translate clearly into their native language, or may carry highly negative connotations. Even when help is available, finding a therapist who speaks the same language, understands the cultural background, and offers affordable care is often a challenge. This is why culturally competent mental health services are essential. Representation matters not just in language but in understanding the values, fears, and lived experiences of the people they serve. Let's take a moment to humanize this. Picture a college student in the U.S. from a Chinese-American background. On the outside, she's thriving, straight A's, leadership positions, a bright future. But inside, she's battling panic attacks and insomnia. Her parents think she's being overly sensitive. She starts to believe them. Or imagine a Filipino father who lost his job and feels like a failure. He doesn't cry or talk about it. Instead, he withdraws, becomes short-tempered, and starts drinking more. His family doesn't recognize it as depression. These stories are not rare. And they show why silence is so dangerous. It allows pain to grow unchecked. The first step toward healing is acknowledgement. Talking openly about mental health, at dinner tables, community events, and places of worship, can break the cycle of stigma. Normalize seeking therapy. Share stories of people who have found help and healing. Educate elders and community members in ways that are respectful but honest. We need more culturally sensitive outreach, more mental health professionals from Asian backgrounds, and more compassion across generations. Organizations like Asian Mental Health Collective, the JET Foundation, and NAMI are creating safe spaces for dialogue and education. Social media campaigns, storytelling platforms, and student groups are also playing a role in changing the narrative. We need to support these efforts. Volunteer, donate, or simply share their resources. If you're in a position to influence policy or education, advocate for culturally inclusive mental health programs. Healing doesn't mean abandoning tradition. It means evolving, honoring your roots while embracing mental wellness. Creating a culture where strength includes vulnerability and success includes emotional well-being. Imagine a world where Asian families talk about depression without shame, where therapy is as normal as a doctor's checkup, and where community care includes mental health. We can't erase the pain of the past, but we can build a future where silence is no longer the answer. If you or someone you love is struggling, please know this. You are not alone. Your pain is valid, and help is out there. Let's keep this conversation going. Talk to a friend. Check in with a loved one. Share this podcast. Comment your thoughts. Subscribe so you don't miss our next episode. Thank you for listening to Understanding Depression. Together, we can break the silence and begin to heal. Until next time, take care and take heart. Disclaimer: the content shared in this podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you or someone you know is experiencing depression or any other mental health issues, please consult a licensed mental health professional. Always seek the advice of your physician or qualified mental health provider with any questions you may have regarding your mental health.